Hello YouTubes, something a bit different today. This is one of my favourite HO scale steam locomotives, one of the smaller ones, special gift from Greg Dean. And this is an O scale steam locomotive, but the crazy thing is, they both run on HO gauge rail. So I was out and about today. I went over to see James at Dundas Junction Model Railroad. I was helping him move some stuff. While we were in his garage yapping away, I spotted this little chap sitting on a dusty shelf. As soon as I picked it up to admire it, James said, "You can have that if you want." So, of course, it's mine now. Absolutely love it. As soon as I got home, I looked into it and basically On30. This will be my first On30, which is basically O scale, but it runs on HO scale or double O scale track. If it runs, I didn't even ask James if it works. So we're going to find out soon. Now there's a few parts missing. I'll give you a closer look. I believe this would originally have come as part of a set, possibly a Christmas set to go around a Christmas tree. And the parts that are missing, which are pretty obvious, are it should have a front pilot. It should be a 260 locomotive. It should have a tender attached to this and some festive coaches and maybe a caboose, I believe. With regards to what's missing, apart from the pilot, there should be, I think, a little bell up there. Actually, a couple of things I think are missing from that section. There should be some sort of cylinder here and another small cylinder behind it. Apart from that, there's not too much missing, I believe. Overall, it's really nice. Obviously, it needs a good clean. So let's give it a quick brush off before we go any further. And while I'm doing that, I'll put a picture down here so that you can compare what it's supposed to look like, okay? There we go, good as new. Well, not quite. I think there was something else missing. One of these, I think they're sort of coloured lamps. There should be two of them, one there and one there. But there's so much detail in this, it's easy to miss things that are missing. I totally love it. I don't even know if it works. I think it is a Bachmann, although it does seem to be labelled as a Hawthorne Village. It's got a little Hawthorne Village in the sticker. But when I looked it up, they do seem to have been made by Bachmann. I think it might be all-wheel pickup. I'm not sure which one is the drive. But before we go any further, let's throw it on the track and see if we get any movement or any buzzing from a motor. See if it's dead. Regardless, I'm going to get this thing working. I'm going to take a wild guess that this is DC. It would be totally amazing if it was DCC. I doubt that very much. So let us give it some DC power, see if we get any noise, any movement, or both. Both would be great. Oh my goodness, straight off. Oh, I think we might have a drive problem. I can hear it clunking. Let's try it backwards. Yeah, it goes so far and then gets hung up in something. So it looks like we've got a gear fouling inside. That's a good start. Let's see how slow we can go for 1 millimeter of travel. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay, what do we do? What do we do? Back to the bench. So I just had a look there at the quartering and everything seems to be in line. That bar there to there to there is straight. And the other side, there to there, and there is straight. So I don't think the wheels have got a problem with the axles. So, let's get into it. I was just thinking I was going to use my cradle. I don't know if my cradle is big enough. Let's find out. Might need to do a little bit of stretching. Yeah, that'll be fine. Just don't want it wobbling off and falling on the floor. Okay, what do we have? We've got a screw there, there, and there. We've got this holding on the rear bar, what's that? I've forgotten what that's called. And obviously that is for the front pilot. I will need to try and find a suitable front wheel set for that. I might actually have one. It's a sort of oversized wheel set. It's got a little spring there, that's neat. So that'll come off with that, I believe. Carefully, don't break anything more than it's already broken. Okay, put them together. So yeah, I think I might have a wheel axle that will just clip in there underneath, and then we'll need to paint it red on the inside. Okay, oh, that has revealed another screw down there. So now we still have that one, that one, that one, and that one. Let's take off the rear. What's it called? Trailing arm? No, that's a car thing. I've forgotten. And while I do this, if anyone's got any spares, I might need them. Let me get my parts tray. Don't want to lose anything. Oh, look at this, it's even a colour coordinated parts tray. So we'll try and put everything together in little groups. So we've got those three things, those two things for the back end. Right, let's continue. I'll take all four of them off, I think I'm going to have to do. So I think the one at the front, no, I thought the one at the front was longer, but they're all the same. So all those four screws along there are the same size. Right, let's see if this comes off now. I think it's one of these models that have got the pickups attached to this base plate, so need to be careful when I'm reinstalling. Seems to be something holding it in. There is a bit of plastic piping, just that little brass pipe section there. Move that out the way. There's another one there. I don't think that was holding it in, to be honest. That one there. Nope. Right, so I think it's just, it's been in a while. I wonder if it's wires that's holding it in. I don't want to stretch it. Yeah, I don't see anything else holding it in. Maybe I need to take the, oh, wait a minute. I think it just needed a wee bit of persuasion. Still something hanging up there. This is going to be so much fun to put back together, I tell you. I can't see what's holding it in at the front now. So, alright, if we break it, we can repair it once we figure out how it goes back together. Sometimes you got to just be a little bit bold. Maybe we'll get in there to see. Yeah, there's some wires that are getting hung up on the underside. We might be able to get in and see. No, I think I'll need to take the top end off before we can remove that. So how do we do that? There is a screw there. Let's get that one off. Again, it's the same. Oh no, that one. So that one at the very front is a slightly wider but shorter screw to those ones there. Oh, magnetic, get off. So I'll keep that one separate to that one, or those ones. Right, now what? Nope, still seems quite rigid there. I don't see any screws at the top. It's a mystery. Oh, that looks like there might be a clip in there. Wonder if these come off to reveal screws. Chimney doesn't come off, nothing else is coming off. Nothing's loose yet. So it's just one wire. Actually, is it two wires? It might be two wires, but I think, no, it's just, no, two wires, one on each side that's connecting these little wipers through to the inside of the body. So I think I might need to get the body off just to give me a bit of extra wire to be able to pull this off. I just don't think I can, maybe I can just turn this round a bit. The wipers are trying to escape through there. Maybe I could do that. Like that. Completely accidentally. Maybe I could do that with all of them. Don't really want to though. Because I know it works. And all I'm trying to do at the moment is to figure out why it's not rotating. Okay, so this wheel set here is spinning and the gear is not spinning. You see that? So that gear there is bust. So we're going to have to, how do we take that apart? I need to separate these wheels to get that gear out. I might need to look this one up. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I've figured out how to get that gear off, okay? Right, I did a bit of fiddling about, and these wheels are pressed into the shaft itself, so I can actually rotate that and bring it out. However, let me see. I don't really want to take these little bolts out of those link bars if I can avoid it, because all I really want to do is try and replace that gear, or repair it if at all possible. So let's see if we can rotate this and separate it. It's pretty tight. I'm sure you've got a special tool that you use so that you don't do that. I wonder if that's going to go back in or have broken. Oh, I think that'll be okay. Seems to have a sort of plastic end that pushes in to the wheel itself, which is going to have to come off because the gear's not going to get past that. So maybe I will have to find a little tool. I don't have a tiny little socket that would go on that. I've only got these pliers, which might do the job. Look away now. This could get rather terrifying. I know it looks like it'll never go back together, but we'll make it work. So I need to try. These shouldn't be mega tight. These are not the finest pliers I've got. Well, no, they are the finest pliers I've got, but they're not quite as fine as I would like. I think once we loosen this, it should just unscrew fairly easily. So much for unscrew fairly easily, it's staying tight. I should probably invest in a set of tiny little Allen screw, not Allen screw, hex screwdriver things. I hadn't really intended to work in steam trains like this, but you never know what's around the next corner, right? Well, that took an age. What we got there? Put that little screw next to that little one. Okay, so we've got this off. As you can see, that's as loose as a... Well, I'm not going to go there, but I do need to get this off so that I can get the gear all the way out. Bit concerned about that because that looks fairly permanent. And if I wreck that, I don't see how it's going to connect to the other side again. I don't have much choice though. I've got to get this gear off. Or could I glue it in place? Nah. I don't even know if I've got a spare glue. Okay, let me hack away at this. I'll let you see how awful it is when I get it off, if I get it off. I think that's going to get ruined. Don't worry, we'll come up with a fantastic solution. So I figured out if I get the pliers on the inside of the shaft and force it out that way and twist. Oh, I had to listen carefully there. That ended up on the floor. Alright, I'm off on the hunt. Oh, thank goodness that was red. Made it a bit easier to find on the floor. So yeah, that was nice and tight. I've not wrecked it. It's actually splined at the end there. So what I'll probably do, before I put that back on, I will glue that section back on to the wheel that I removed that side from. So when that's glued in, and then this can just slide in, because it's splined, it should be absolutely fine. So that's good news. This will come off now. Now I need to hunt for another gear. I hope I've got spares because I really want to get this going. Okay, back hopefully with a successful hunting session. You can see the big crack there. Okay, back soon. Well, I have nothing close to the size of gear that this requires. It's twice as thick as any other gear I've got. The hole in the centre is twice as wide. It's basically O gauge, you know? So I've got no spares, so I'm going to have to try and repair this. I know that glue doesn't work. I've tried glue before of all sorts. However, I do have a soldering iron. I think the technical term is plastic welding. We will give it a shot. I am going to put my little gear in my pliers, the round section with the grippy bit near the top. So I can't even see the crack. Hold on. I want this positioned there. I can see the crack much easier there. And I'm going to squeeze the pliers enough to close this and basically run my soldering iron across there to hopefully melt the plastic together. Absolutely nothing to lose, everything to gain. Let's give it a shot. If that worked, that was incredibly easy. I'll wait and make sure it's bonded together before I release the pressure on the pliers, and then I'll flip it over and do the other side. Because the teeth themselves look to be okay, the teeth on the gears. So if this works, then we could have dodged a bullet. And we'll get the other side done. And hopefully when we push it onto this shaft, it won't just crack right open. Oh, I cannot even make out where the crack is when I put it in there. Okay, the crack is there. Right, we'll do the same on this side. Got the shakes. I can't afford to go left and right. It must just go forward and back that way. I don't want to interfere with the hole for the shaft or the teeth themselves. Hopefully that's enough. If this works, I'll be amazed and quite excited because I've got lots of gears that I could do this with if it works. I think my teeth are good. I don't think I've interfered with them. Let's just try it. Let's see if it slides on there. Give this a wee clean first. Hold on. Oh, there's actually a spline on that shaft as well, so that's neat. Presumably it has to line up with that spline there. Okay, it is tight. Before I get it on. If it stays tight when I get it on, that would be awesome. Goodness, I can't even get it on, which is a good sign because it means it's not instantly cracking. I can't get it on. Nope, it split. Oh, that's a shame. Really thought that would have worked. Oh, dog namn it. Might have to try again, but this time maybe do it on the shaft. Yeah, I think I'll do it on there because it's that initial force of stretching it open that's causing a problem. Right, try it one more time. Unfortunately, I can't get around to the other side of that now. Right, let's see if that is going to stop spinning. Ooh, that actually worked. Oh, we could be onto a winner here. As long as I've not mangled the teeth. I don't think I have. Okay, we're going to go with that. Let's not fiddle about with it too much in case I make it worse. Before we reassemble, how about we hook up some power to the motor, make sure there's nothing binding in the areas we can't see. If that's spinning freely, then I'll just pick out the old grease, try and put in some new grease, until I figure out how to get the body off and clean it properly. But we'll do that first, make sure the motor's working. I mean, we know the motor's working, just whether or not it's binding inside, okay? So all I really need to do is make connection between two of these pickups, but I don't want to touch the metal section here because that will just arc it. So I need to keep all the wipers away from the chassis. So let's see, we'll give it some power. It's an old transformer, it's a bit hummy. Oh, it's very hummy. Right, power on one side. Try that again. Power on one side, power on the other. That was arcing. Still arcing. What's it hitting? Oh, I know what it is. These two wipers are touching each other, aren't they? On the inside as it goes into the body. So that needs to come right out there. Right, let's try that again. One side. Ooh. Right, we have no binding. Going to give it 3/4 power. Spinning fine. It's a little bit lazy, so I will try and dig out some of the old grease that's in there, put in some fresh grease, a little bit of oil. I think we're good to rebuild. One last thing then I need to do is I need to glue that little red piece in there before we can put the shaft in. Well, I pushed that little red section in and it was pretty tight, so I don't think I'm going to need glue. I know how to get it out if I change my mind. So I've dug out as much of the congealed grease that was in there. I am just going to put a couple of drops of synthetic oil in there rather than more grease. I really just want to loosen up the grease that's already in there. And then we'll give it a proper service if we get the thing up and running. Once again, if I know how to get the top off, because I really don't have access in the bottom. Okay, here's the tricky bit. I need to quarter these wheels before I put that shaft in. So let's go with all the wheels being... Those ones are pretty much quartered with each other, which is nice. So it's really just the drive wheel we need to get spot on. So let's go with the wheels being... or the connectors being straight down. So this one will need to be also straight down. It's a wee bit tricky because I've removed that link bar. So let's see, that one. Oh, this will be tricky, tricky. I know they're not straight down at the moment, but it's the best I can do at the moment because we're fighting with the gear as well. And the gear will not let me rotate this round. Well, I suppose it would if I did that. Dum-dum. So I think that is probably about right there. Maybe around there. Right, we'll squeeze that in. Oh, that's nice and tight. Jolly good. I will get my NMRA gauge, make sure I've got the wheel spacing correct. Oh, spot on, spot on. So we are good to rebuild. It's just going to be fun. Yeah. Okay, let's rebuild. So that was a bit of a nightmare. I think I've got everything back where it's supposed to be. Oh, I think that little fake copper pipe should be that side. So I need to pull you out. I don't think it's going to do any harm there. Maybe that one's in the wrong place. That would make more sense actually, because it's hanging a bit low. Anyway, regardless of that, let us hook up some power to the wheels. As you saw, I had to take the wheel off again and re-quarter it because it wasn't quite right. I think it looks okay now. So, hook up some power to the wheels and hopefully we'll be almost done, other than trying to find a pilot wheel for the back. Right, power! With my noisy controller, power on. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Let me just try the contacts directly. What is going on? Oh, I've not given it any power. I've switched the controller on, but I hadn't turned the knob. You know, DC and all that. There we go. More power. I need to circulate the new oil. Something has gone wrong. Something wrong in there, unfortunately. That sucks. Okay, I don't think it's as bad as I thought. I've got a wiper stuck in the spoke, which would explain that. So I'm going to have to remove this, realign the wiper so that it doesn't get stuck. In fact, there's a couple of wipers that are in the wrong place, so I guess I rushed that. Right, I'll bring you back when the wipers are back where they're supposed to be and this plate's back on. We'll try again. Okay, let us try again. Power. Please work. Ooh. Ah, we've got a bit of leverage, not leverage, whatever these bars are all called, getting stuck. Okay, last chance. Well, it's not the last chance. I'm not going to stop until it's gone round the track. Got a bit of a click, but I think it's coming from this. You see this moving when it goes round? What's that piston thing? Of course now it stopped. Still got a bit of a clunk, but what do you expect? I've glued a cracked gear together. Let's try it in the other direction. Because this is better than not working at all, right? Wonderful. Okay, so that part's working. Now we need to work on what's left? Just getting a front pilot wheel, right? Okay, let me go and search for one of them. Found a couple of possible candidates. We have this one, which is a 36-inch wheel, which I would use in a passenger coach, but it's a little bit on the titchy side. However, I found this one, which is already painted black, and it will need to get painted red at some point, but much better size. So let's see if we can get that in to the front pilot arm thingy-majig. Oh, that clips in quite nicely. This is going far too easily. Right, let's finish this install. Credo. Getting to the exciting bit. So that goes that way round, I'm guessing. Obviously need to put in the little spring thing first. I think that goes that way, that forces the pilot towards the rail. Is it that way or is it the other way? Guess we'll find out when we put it on. Well, let's take this off because this needs to, oh for goodness sake, tweezers! Let's just check this out. So, it's either going to go that way, and oh, I think it slides in there, doesn't it? Yeah, that slides in there. Although, how does that work as a spring? Because the top doesn't go mega tight, that's how. Right, so that bit slides in there. Doesn't go that way, does it? The other way. Oh, it's on the floor again. Hold on. Oh, for goodness sake, someone forgot to pay their gravity tax this month. As I was saying, either goes on that way, which makes sense, or will it go on the other way? Nah, there's no springiness at all that way, so let's go with that way. Get that one there, both of them go round the hole. And is that going to be springy? Yes. Right, we need our screw for that one. Oh, it's getting exciting. We're nearly there. Okay, who stole my screwdriver? There he is. Having second thoughts about that spring. I have a feeling I was right the first or the second time. I think the spring actually gets activated by hitting that little bar. You see that bar right there? I think this actually, oh for goodness sake. Right, you see how that's shaped like that? I think that section there, at the bottom of the V, I think that hits off of that bar there, forcing it up the way. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So it still needs to slip inside there. Go over there. I think that makes more sense. Screw is still on the screwdriver, which is nice. Oh, come on. Yes, lovely. Yeah, and is that looking okay? Once I paint that red with a white rim, that might look just swanky. And I'm not going to bother putting the trailing bar, the drawbar. I'm not going to put that on at the moment because it's just going to annoy me and get in the way. Suppose we should take it over to the track, see if it runs. I mean, hopefully it will run. It's just how bad is it going to run? Better than not running at all, right? Let's go. Tell you what, it's a lot easier to get a no gauge loco on the track than it is an HO. I'm not sure if that little wheel's going to be big enough. I think it might derail. But hey, it has to move for it to derail. Let's give it some power and see if it goes. Well, it goes. Bit chunky though, but that's probably because there's a big crack in the gear. I reckon at full speed you won't even notice. Let's just pretend it's the chuff chuff sound. That looks awesome. Let's go for a spin round the track. That looks amazing! I think I might have found my new favourite thing. On30. Could end up being quite expensive. Just the same about the clunk. The front pilot wheel seems to be sticking on the track okay, which is nice. So that's going to get painted red. Oh, that's so nice. So obviously I'm on the hunt for some spares. I'm going to need a new gear. I'm going to need a tender and some coaches and a caboose, and we will be done with this model. But I'm certainly going to be looking at the train shows slightly differently and see if there's any On30 models kicking about going cheap. Obviously it's not going to work very well with my HO scale scenery, but I don't care. I think that looks fantastic. What a present. Brilliant, thank you very much, James. It lives again. Albeit a bit clunky, but who cares? Off she goes. Right, if anyone's got any knowledge of these little locos, are they still in production? I doubt it. But let me know if you've got any special connections to get me a new gear for this, or even just a whole spare loco that needs, well, that can be used for spares. There's absolutely no point getting another loco that needs a gear, you know what I mean? So that's it for today. Really pleased with that. I wasn't expecting that. I just went out to help out James and he just threw this at me and we got it working. It looks great, and I think he may have started me on something else. James. Right, take care everyone. I'll see you very soon. I'll get the layout done eventually, but I keep playing with trains. Can you blame me? Look at that. It's gorgeous. Bye.